Hello everybody, it's Anthony here from Cutting Edge Guitar, presenting to you today the next one of my cutting edge technique lessons, looking at the sweep picking technique. So in the previous couple of lessons we've done legato. We did three lessons on that in the Cutting Edge Legato mini-series. We've just completed the Cutting Edge Alternate Picking series. You can check all of those out on my website or in the videos on the YouTube channel. So moving on today into this sweep picking technique. Now, where I start with sweep picking, I actually start 2-string sweeps with my students rather than looking at full arpeggios. Because I think there's lots of tutorials out there, and there's loads of articles in all the magazines and books galore and all that sort of thing that show this sort of thing. And it's kind of like, here's a shape, what you do is you move your pick in the same direction as the new string, and there you go, there's sweep picking. And you know, there's the odd tutorial out there that goes, and here it is slow as well. Which isn't particularly helpful for most people that are watching it for the first time. So I start this technique on 2 strings only. And that is because there is a bit of a misconception about this technique, that it is just this demon thing that you do on large arpeggio shapes, that sort of thing. But actually sweep picking is so much more, okay? And there's lots more you can do. Yes, you can play these super fast big arpeggios like this, but sweep picking it's quite simple in it's logical, okay? So when I say looking at 2 strings, if I look at a fragment of the A minor pentatonic scale, something like this, that's going to be the first example for this lesson. What I've got, normally if I'm alternate picking this, I'd have to do downstroke, upstroke, downstroke, upstroke. So now as I've finished that, I'm going to come back across the string and do downstroke, upstroke. So that's the standard alternate picking approach. But with sweep picking, I can do this: up, down, down again, up, down, up. Oh, sorry, I played the wrong lick there, didn't I? I'm doing up, down, down, up, down, down, up. Which gets us out of doing the alternate picking thing, and it's just a bit more logical, okay? I'm not saying that I'm going against alternate picking, because I absolutely love alternate picking, and if you've watched the last 3 sessions that I've done on it in the Cutting Edge Alternate Picking series, you'll see loads of my ideas for that one. I always thought lots of the players that I like use lots of different techniques to get lots of things done. Now, economy picking or sweep picking, speed picking, whichever phrase you want to use to describe the technique, is used by so many of my favourite players. That was something that I also wanted to get down. Now, looking at that pentatonic fragment that I'm doing there, just using basically the pick moving in the same direction as the new string every time, it's fairly logical. And it's easy to play that sort of thing really fast. So in example 1, I'm using that fragment first, and I've also reversed it, which looks like this. Now, if you see in the top corner of my screen, you'll see that I've zoned right in, or zoomed right in on my picking hand, and you should hopefully see the way that it's moving. It's almost got like this elliptical movement. It's not quite like circular, but it's sort of like elliptical the way that it moves, okay? So the way that I'm holding my pick is actually the same as I was doing for the alternate picking stuff in the last couple of lessons. So I've still got that 45-degree angle. So if I hold my pick closer to the rear end, the back end of it, hopefully you'll see there. I'm not sure if you can. I just want to try and get it so that you can see. Right, if I put my pick here, right in front of the camera, like I'm holding it like this. So you can see I've got like almost a 45-degree angle. Now if I bring that across to the strings, what my pick is now doing is slicing through, rather than if I had it like this. If I'm playing straight, perpendicular to the string, it's going to resist the string. So instead of cutting through, well, like it's on the angle like that, it's going to just hit and resist to the string. Okay. So that's the thing that I'm doing there, and that's example one. As per usual with all of these lessons that I'm doing, the tabs are all hosted on my website. There's a link in the description to the tabs there. So that was example one, a standard minor pentatonic fragment. Okay. And example two, this is also minor pentatonic, but what I'm doing now is I'm going to move that fragment to the top two strings. Now what you'll find with this technique is that the thinner strings resist the plectrum in a different way to the thicker strings. So it's very much worth practicing on different string pairs. Now, like I've done with all of the cutting edge technique lessons so far, I've put the tabs and everything up on my blog post, but I've also made that post downloadable with some extras. So on the extras of this one, when I talk about expanding the technique, I've talked about playing on different string pairs and like how you can expand this to different pentatonic shapes. I've also even put in there like a jazzy chord progression and shown you how you can follow that with different triads and all those sorts of things. So if you want to break out of just these 8 examples I'm doing for you today, check that out so you can see just how far you can go with these 2-string sweeps. Okay, example number 3, what we're doing with this one, I'm just going to extend my position 1 minor pentatonic up into position 2. So we're going to play this fragment, but the second time we're going to go up to the D note to play the position 2 area of that same minor pentatonic. So we get it's exactly the same technique, exactly the same movement. So down, up, up, up. Oh, sorry. Down, up, down, down, up, down. As you can see, if you look just at my right hand, it's much more efficient than alternate picking, which I'm just doing there. If I'm economy or sweep picking, I'm just barely working at all. I wouldn't say it's simpler. It is a hard technique to get under your belt. This is again why I limit it only to 2 strings in the beginning, because if you're trying to do this over loads of strings, you're going to cause yourself a whole headache. So things to really watch out for with this is to make sure that you're pushing the pick through strings when it's sweeping forwards, and also make sure that you get your pick pulling back through on the way up. Okay, so you don't want to play consecutive strokes as such. It's one stroke that goes through several strings. So moving on to example number 4, I'm showing 4 different variations of the same idea in example 4. So what I'm doing is I'm playing this idea every single time. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to rhythmically displace the idea so that you practice with a new note on the downbeat every single time. So example 4, the first version is this one. Just pay close attention to the way that my pick is pushing through the strings and pulling back up. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the G on the downbeat in the next one, so I get this. So although it's the same lick, it completely changes the sound, doesn't it? If we displace that again so that C's on the beat, and finally so that A is on the beat, Now the thing with these, not only are they tricky in this hand getting that sweep motion going, it's also very difficult actually controlling what goes on in the fretting hand. So with this one I'm rolling, so you can see that this hand is rolling across the string, so I don't get a double stop sound, but I get okay. So that's example number 4. Example number 5. What we're going to do now, we're going to move on to triplet ideas. So everything we've done so far has been based on the pentatonic scale. What we're going to do now, we're going to play triplet ideas in triads. Okay, so I'm using 2-string triad shapes, and example number 5 shows you 2 ways to execute a minor triad in the key of A. The first fingering looks like this. Picking wise, I'm doing down, up, up, down, up, up, down, up, up, down, up, up. Okay, and then I'm also showing a different way of doing this one, more like a forwards motion. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the 10th fret on the B string there, my A note. I'm going to put that on the downbeat. And what I'm doing with this one, I'm using a more Malmsteen kind of picking approach, which is going down, down, up. Now instead of sweeping back through with another upstroke, I'm going to reverse it to get down here. So I'm doing down, down, up, down, down, up. Now if you're not familiar with that kind of thing, you might also think, why am I not doing 2 consecutive upstrokes? Well, if I did, I'd go down, down, up, up, down, up, up. Well, that kind of works, but actually if you want to be really on the money rhythmically, playing this note, the downbeat with a down stroke actually does really help. So it's better to have the sweep here. And also, yeah, like I was saying, if you're not familiar with Yngwie's playing, and where you might have heard that sort of thing, this tune Trilogy Suite, he plays that in the main theme in Trilogy Suite. It's absolutely incredible, so check that one out for a reference. So that's example number 5. Example number 6 shows the same thing, but this time we're going to look at a major triad. So it's just fingerings that's changed on this one. So with this one we're changing to, I'm going to move a couple of frets along and I'm going to play a G major triad, which looks like this. Okay, so that's your example 6. Now you've seen major and minor triads. What we'll be doing in examples 7 and 8 to finish off the lesson, we're going to look at taking those triads through a neoclassical chord progression. So we're going to play A minor, G, F, E, and always finish on an A note to resolve. Okay, so it's the same picking all the way through, but we're taking it through the different keys there. So example number 7 is showing this method of picking. Okay, and example number 8 shows the Malmsteen version. And there you go. They are the 8 exercises that will start our sweep picking routine. Now the thing with these exercises, there are, as always with these lessons, loads and loads of ways to expand them. I've put that in the downloadable lesson content, talking about how you can do them on lots of different strings, lots of different triads, loads of different pentatonic shapes and all that sort of thing. They may seem like they're simple ideas for sweep picking, but trust me, I've seen a lot of students over the years that start with the bigger arpeggio stuff and they can't get it down. So working on these two string fragments is really, really good for you. These 8 examples are actually in my high intensity guitar technique book 1. They're all taken from the technique primer chapter. So this is generally what I call my sweep picking primer. Okay, so if you want more information, more supporting video tutorials that really zoom in and show you exactly what my fretting hand is doing, my picking hand is doing, and all that sort of stuff, check that one out. And practice hard. As always, make sure you're using your metronome. Build up your speed gradually. Make sure you do check out the tab fingerings on the blog post. There's more description on exactly how to execute the exercises, and also the downloadable stuff includes MP3s that you can listen to at several speeds, PDFs, guitar profiles, which are really useful for play along to if you're using the speed trainer on there. So yeah, check all of that out. Link in the description. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, make sure that you do so you get a notification when the next sweep picking lesson comes out. I'll try and get that done as soon as I can for you guys. And I hope you enjoy it. Drop me a line in the comments just to let me know how you're getting on, or if you've got any other questions about anything guitar related. Visit me at my website, anthonygeorgeguitar.com, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Take care, everyone.